Chapter 17, The Limitless Magic of Styx Malone. The first time Styx came for dinner, well, it started out as a disaster. He knew his manners perfectly well. He just didn't like to use them. He rubbed his mouth with his hands, then wiped them on his jeans. Things like that. Mom watched him, quiet. Her lips pursed, like they were stuck in a pre-scold, but she held it back. Styx had that effect. Right when it seemed like she was about to say something against him, he'd smile. "This rice is delicious, Mrs. Franklin," he'd say. Mom had made her style rice, soaked in buttery mushroom sauce. Mom ruffled her napkin. "I'm glad you like it." Styx knew how to find the line, dance right on top of it, tip his hat. I admired that. "What grade are you in, Styx?" "Round about 10th. He said, his mouth full of salad. I'll say this for Styx. He cleaned his plate, no complaints. Roundabout? Does that mean going in or coming out? Styx shrugged. What's the difference? It's just school. What do you plan to do when you graduate? Geez, Mom was grilling Styx just as good as the fish. Styx tipped a shoulder and shoveled in more lettuce. Get a job. Rule the world. His leafy grin caused Bobby Jean to snort cough into his juice. What sort of job interests you? Mom's voice was syrupy. That meant she was closing in for the kill. Styx has been to the Children's Museum 10 times, I reported, hoping to get him off the hot seat. He likes the science exhibits best. That's nice, Dad said. His attention was on the style rice. He laid a few grains on Susie's tray, then dug back in. I'm fixing to check it out again one of these days, Styx said. Maybe we could all go together, I suggested, glancing sideways at Dad. Dad shook his head slowly. No cause to go into the city, which is what he'd always said. So I don't know why in this case it started me simmering. You never let us go anywhere, I complained. We were less than 30 minutes from the edge of the city and barely 45 from the heart of things, even when there was traffic. Caleb. Mom did the thing where she only said one word, but put a lot of tone into it. Dad set down his fork. This discussion is over. No. I tried to hold myself back, but I couldn't. My voice had tone now too, the tone of wine. We're small-town folk, Caleb. Everything we need is right here. Dad reached over and squeezed Mom's hand. I dropped my face into my hands, horrified. Dad was making us sound like country bumpkins. It's better that way, he said. I didn't understand. Dad grew up in Indy. He knew the city through and through, all the lights, the buildings, the sights, and the people, yet for some reason he preferred the middle of nowhere. Better for who? I couldn't stop myself. Bobby Jean sighed, no doubt anticipating the lecture that was coming. We're safe here. People know us here. Caleb. My heart stung, all the way down to the bottom and back. My fingers curled around the edge of the table. My lungs were working overtime. I wanted a change. No one could stop me. Dad. You're right, Mr. Franklin. Styx spoke over me, his voice as smooth as Mom's butter sauce. This is a great town, he smiled at Dad. You a Pacers fan? Colts? You ever ball? Oh yeah, Dad said. Defensive back. 4th Ridge High. I know 4th Ridge, Styx nodded. Good team. Back in the day, yeah. They've gone downhill. Shame, Styx commiserated. My fingers slowly relaxed. Styx winked at me, then shook his head. Not now, it seemed he was saying. Dad nodded. Sat on the bench at IU. Got on the field twice, though. Against Iowa. Against Notre Dame. He looked at the centerpiece, a wooden vase of what he called durable flowers. His gaze turned distant for a moment, then he grinned. Good times. You played Big Ten? That's serious bragging rights, Styx acknowledged. Dad grinned again. That's how I wooed Angie here. She was a sucker for my sweet moves on the field. Even Mom cracked a smile at that one. Styx Malone, miracle worker. You play ball? Dad asked. Styx raised a shoulder. I can hold my own in the schoolyard. Dad looked pleased. Hey, we should all toss it around one evening. It was like pulling teeth to get me and Bobby Jean to play ball. I didn't have interest. Bobby Jean couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, as they say, but he was built like a linebacker, which didn't involve ball skills at all. So Dad held out hope. That sounds great, Mr. Franklin, Styx said. We'll do that. But not tonight, Mom said. It's getting dark and it's time for dessert. Bobby Jean? Luckily, he was the one who got tagged to help clear. I could barely sit still. Styx loved the museum and could fix everything, and he knew how to talk to Dad. The feeling at the bottom of my heart was still there, dissatisfied. But maybe I had more to learn from Styx before I could properly fight my battle. We enjoyed strawberry shortcake for dessert, and then it was time for Styx to go. I'll drive you home, Dad said. No cause to be roaming after dark. Nah, it's just over the woods, Styx said. Dad hesitated. Not a house between here and there, Styx added. I'm okay. Dad frowned. Well, I'll walk you out. He stalked to the back porch like someone was forcing him. Thanks for being cool about things, I whispered as we walked Styx to the door. Sorry we can't go to the museum together. Don't sweat it, Caleb, my man. He gave my thoughts a little nudge with his eyebrows. Where there's a will, there's a way. You know what I'm saying? I did. Styx's secret message cut through my frustration like a knife. The grasshopper was the key. When it was ours, we could go anywhere. We could ride all the way into Indy. We could chill at the museum. Styx could show us everything, and Dad would never need to know. At the door, Styx turned around. He slapped our hands in the way he'd shown us. Slap, curl fingers together, slap, and slide away easy. He could do it with both of us at the same time. One on each hand. Real smooth. He tugged up his jeans to almost cover his boxers, smiled over at Mom, standing behind us, gave a little bow. Thank you, ma'am. That was a right good supper. Styx had sure eaten enough of it, too. No leftover style rice for us this time. You're welcome in our house anytime, Mom said. Behind her back, Bobby Jean made a huh face, and I can't say I blamed him. Mom was full of surprises tonight. Styx smiled, the usual knowing way. I'm more of an outdoor cat, he said. Very well. Boys, tell Styx good night. See you tomorrow, we said, waving. Bobby Jean and I started clearing the dessert plates. We scraped everything and loaded the dishwasher. Then we held out our fists. Bobby Jean counted it off. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Ha! My rock crushed his scissors, so he scrubbed the pots, and I dried. We dried our hands, only to find Mom lingering behind us, bouncing Susie to sleep. Her expression said a bit of damage control was in order. That was a great dinner, I told her. Styx was really impressed. That is your new friend? Mom said. The war in her eyes clashed right over my head. She wanted to trust us. Trust was a thing with Mom. That and giving people the benefit of the doubt. But Styx was a lot to take.